Hello, welcome to the EPG Pathshala program in linguistics. I am Professor Ramendra Gargesh from the Department of Linguistics, University of Delhi. Today we will discuss linguistic stylistics. In the 14th module of linguistic stylistics, we continue with narrative discourse. The title is Narrative Discourse to the Development of a Model for Analysis. Here we will discuss briefly the contributions of Mieke Ball, Rimon Kenan and Stenzel. And we will also outline a model in the light of which we will analyze a novel. Now the main objective of this module is to give you an idea again to how the further developments have taken place in narrative theory after Gerard Geneth. Now we have already seen the theory up to Gerard Geneth. Now we will look at it after Gerard Geneth. The post-Geneth developments can be considered to be significant, for they contribute towards establishing a model for the analysis of narratives. So far, you have been introduced to prop structural model, that is in module 12, and subsequently to developments after prop, leading to the work of Gerard Geneth in module 13. All these developments are in the form of a search for a model for the analysis of narrative texts. So the present module will discuss a few more developments based on Geneth's three-layer division of narratives. But now we will look at Rimon Kenan, who has also interpreted Gerard Geneth. We will include Rimon Kenan as well. Geneth's three-layer division of voice, tenses, mood has been further modified by scholars like Rimon Kenan and Ball. While Rimon Kenan has added the dimension of character as a major category, Ball has introduced the concept of fabula. We have already talked about fabula in module 12, or when we were talking about Russian formalism. And in Stenzel, the idea of narrative situations. So these three different things have been added by subsequent scholars. All the theories, we will synthesize all these theories and come to a workable model. In the light of that model, we will analyze a novel. Let us first consider Rimon Kenan. Yes, Rimon Kenan had interpreted Geneth. Rimon Kenan, in her book, Narrative Fiction, Contemporary Poetics, like Geneth, proposes three levels for the study of narratives. Now, these are different terms. She uses story, text, narration. She perceives story as narrative events extracted from the text. For her, narratives need to be analyzed in terms of deep narrative structure and surface narrative structures. Text is a verbal representation of a place of work. Text is a verbal representation of a piece of work that awaits reading. According to Rimon Kenan, a text has three identifiable features, namely time, characterization, and focalization. Time is further divided into two categories: order and pace, and frequency. Here, order and pace refer to the order of the story, which includes flashback and flash forward, similar to Geneth's categories of analepsis and prolepsis. The example of flashback or analepsis can be identified in chapter 2 of Flaubert's Sentimental Education, which provides the background information about the past history of Charles, a character, about Charles' father, a character. The example of flash forward or prolepsis is identifiable in Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, in the form of narrator's anticipation of the future events. In the lines, "I see the lives for which I lay down my life, peaceful, useful, prosperous and happy, in that England which I shall see no more. I see her with a child upon her bosom, who bears my name." So this is seeing into the future. Besides order, pace, that is duration, is an important aspect of time in the text. which refers to the narrative tempo in the text through ellipsis, summary, scene and pause. Frequency refers to occurrence of an event and narration in the story. Rimon Kenan's concept of pace and frequency is similar to that of Jeneth's duration and frequency. Characterization. For Rimon Kenan, characterization can be arrived at through the methods of direct definition and indirect definition. Now, direct definition refers to traits represented by adjectives, an abstract noun, or some other kind of noun assigned to characterize characters. For example, in Henry James' The Portrait of a Lady, the heroine gets characterized as imaginative and thoughtful through direct references to traits, as in the lines, Isabel Archer was a young person of many theories. Her imagination was remarkably active. Her thoughts were a tangle of vague outlines. So within the text itself, we have indicators about the character. That is direct definition. Indirect definition, in contrast, refers to traits reflected through speech, actions, and external appearance and environment. For example, physical room, house, street, town, human beings. Amongst human beings, you can have family, social connections, and so on. According to Rimon Kenan, character as one construct within the abstracted story can be described in terms of network of character traits. These traits, however, may be or may not appear as such in the text. How then is the construct to be arrived at? By assembling various characteristics. We have to collect the various indicators in the text to build up the character. These indicators are distributed along the text continuum, and we can take these up and infer the traits from them. This is how a character can be formulated, by looking at the traits that come throughout the text, putting them together, and then looking at what kind of construct the character is. Focalization is another significant feature. It refers to the perspective of narrators or characters. Like Jeneth, Rimon Kenan too perceives focalization as internal and external. While internal focalization refers to the perspective of characters inside the text, external focalization refers to the point of view of narrating agent of the story. The third category in Rimon Kenan's theory is, it includes narration, which refers to the way of storytelling. Three levels of narration includes narrative levels, voices, and speech representation. Now, what is this narrative levels? The notion of narrative levels implies that there can be a story within a story, or narratives within narratives. Rimon Kenan categorizes narrative levels into three types. 1. Extra-diegetic. 2. Diegetic. 3. Hypodiegetic. Extra-diegetic level refers to the narration by an omniscient narrator who is outside the story. For example, the external narrator in Fielding's Tom Jones. Diegetic level of narrative refers to the narration by a character in the story, in the text. For example, the narrations of Marlowe, a character in Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Further, the hypodiegetic level is the level of storytelling when a character within the story tells another character the story. For example, in Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, Lockwood narrates stories in which he himself participates as a character to another character. Narrative voices refer to narratives of the story, narrators of the story. On the basis of the categories of narrative levels, they are again called extra-diegetic narrator, intra-diegetic narrator and hypodiegetic narrator. Speech representation refers to the representation such as free direct discourse and free indirect discourse. Free direct discourse, according to Riemann Cannon, is direct discourse shorn of conventional orthographic cues. This is the typical form of first-person interior monologue. This is used to represent a character's mental process, thoughts and ideas. For example, Fanny's head suddenly got very light. Bright boy, that's me. Ambition and literary taste, gee, I must finish. Looking backward, and geez, I like reading, fine. And I could run a linotype or set up print if anybody's let me. $15 a week, pretty soft. $10 raise. This is a kind of constructions that we call that have free indirect discourse. Free indirect discourse is used to represent a character's feelings, thoughts, and perceptions. Free indirect discourse resembles indirect discourse in person and tense, while it resembles direct discourse in not being strictly subordinate to a higher verb of saying or thinking, and in didactic elements, the word order of questions, and the admissibility of various direct discourse features. In such a speech reporting verb and complementizer that are deleted to indicate immediacy, and personal thoughts, unlike in direct and indirect discourses. Let us take another example. In the indirect discourse, we can have a construction like, he said that he loved her. In free indirect discourse, he loved her. The reporting verb and complementizers are deleted. In short, Riemann Canon's three-layered view of narrative is a modification of Geneth's three-layered model narrative. Another three-layered view of narratives has been undertaken by Mieke Ball. Mieke Ball's analysis of narrative in his book Narratology also exhibits three categories. Now these categories are different: text, story, and fabula. According to Ball, text is a narrative text in which agent tells a story in a particular medium, such as language, imagery, sound, buildings, or combinations thereof. Text embodied in the system of signs in which it is encoded. Story for Ball refers to fabula, which is a series of logically and chronologically related events that are caused or experienced by the actors. Story and fabula are interrelated. Fabula, which is the content of the story, refers to the series of events which are arranged in some order. Besides events, the essential part of the fabula are actors, time, and somewhere, a place. Ball admits that if human behavior is taken as the criterion for describing events, then actors are the instruments of action. Further, an event, whether it is significant or not, takes up time and occurs in somewhere, a place that is real or imaginary, and events, actors, time and location together constitute the material of the fabula. For Ball, narrative levels are of two types: matrix and embedded narratives. Narrative levels refer to the levels of storytelling. That is, there can be a story within a story. Matrix narrative for Ball refers to the main story, whereas the embedded narrative refers to the story narrated within the main story. In brief, Ball's analysis of a narrative text is also three-layered. It is a three-layered structure of text. Three-layered structure that is based on text, story, and fabula. And these are interrelated to one another. They are not separate. Besides these narratologists, Stenzel talks about narrative situations. F.K. Stenzel, in his A Theory of Narrative, perceives narratives not in terms of story and text, but in terms of narrative situations. Stenzel views three types of narrative situations in a text or story. The first one is the first person narrative. The second one, an authorial narrative. The third one, a figural narrative. In the first one, in the first person narrative, the first person narrative refers to the narrative in which the character himself or herself narrates the story. Such narratives are mostly autobiographical, for they narrate the experiences of the protagonist. For example, the first person narrative in Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. In authorial narrative, the authorial narrative refers to the narrator who chooses character or characters of the novel to narrate the story, though he himself is a witness from the outside. The narrator in this narrative appears to be the supreme authority. An example of authoritative narrative can be found in George Eliot's Middlemarch. Now, a figural narrative is one, this is the third one. A figural narrative is one that presents a story through a character's eyes. For example, in Thomas Hardy's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Unlike other narratologists, Bull doesn't take into account the text or the story as a part of narration. He focuses only on the narrative situations of three above mentioned. So from our discussion so far, it is clear that narratology began with the Poetics of Aristotle, followed the structural model in the works of Propp, Greimas, Levi-Strauss, Todorov and Barthes, and then turned into a three-layered division of structure of a narrative in Genet, in Rimon Kenan and Bull. In Stanzel, Stanzel only focused on narrative situations. So these are the modern, this is a modern concept of the theory of narratives. Now, keeping these theories in mind, we can propose another theory, because we need to study the narrative as a text, and narrative is not an accumulation of sentences. Much is incorporated in a narrative. So the narratologists such as Propp, Levi-Strauss, Greimas, Todorov, Barthes, Genet, Stanzel and others, Mike Ball, Rimon Kenan, they have looked at the narrative largely from a structural point of view, and there is no unanimity regarding what comprises narrative structure. There is no unanimity about its categories. So what comprises narrative structures? A narrative text, according to Genet and Rimon Kenan, consists of three layers, though categories posited by them are different. Genet divides the narrative into voice, tense and mood. Rimon Kenan divides it into story, text, narration, and Bull divides them into text, story and fabula. And Stanzel concentrates only on narrative situations. Further, narrative categories such as narrative levels, types of narrators, sequence of events, focalization and discourse are not uniformly categorized. Furthermore, Furthermore, narrative categories such as narrative levels, types of narrators, sequence of events, focalization and characters, discourse, they are not uniformly categorized in all models, for they occur under different heads. The narrative levels and types of narrators come under category of voice in Genet, but under narration in Rimon Kenan. The category sequence of events falls under tense in Genet, but under text in Rimon Kenan. Focalization is located under mood in Genet, but under text in Rimon Kenan. Characters and characterization is not included in Genet, but it is in Genet's model, but this finds place under text in Rimon Kenan. Discourse or speech, or as free direct discourse and free indirect discourse, has not been taken into account by Genet, whereas it is discussed under narration in Rimon Kenan. In addition, the categories of narrative structure such as narrative levels, types of narrators, sequence of events, focalization, etc., these have also been used by narratologists in very different ways. Though the division of narrative structure of Rimon Kenan is very much similar to that of Genet, but her terminologies for narrative constituents are different. Keeping in mind the theoretical perspectives of all these scholars, we develop another model for the analysis of novel or analysis of a narrative. Now, this model is being proposed. It takes insights from all these scholars, no doubt. But in this synthesized model, narrative categories such as narrative levels and typology of narrators introduced by Geneth, Mieke-Ball, Rimon-Kenan and Stenzel have been synthesized under the head of narration. Focalization has been kept under the broad head of text and time order under the heading setting. So we are introducing the term setting. Further, character and characterization has been incorporated under text. In fact, the proposed model incorporates all the categories introduced by the narratologists discussed earlier, and it also takes into account some other categories which have not been accounted for earlier, such as chronological sequence, actual sequence of events, spatial dimension, narrative modes, and language of discourse. The model would be something like this, that we have a narrative. The narrative can be divided into plot, text, and narration. Under plot, we will have a subcategory of chronological sequence of events as opposed to actual sequence of events. Under settings, we will have temporal dimension of time, and then we will also have a spatial dimension, the place. Then there is a category of characters and characterization, and there is a category of focalization. So settings, characters and focalization come under text. The last one is narration, and the narration can be further viewed in terms of narrative levels, typology of narrator, narrative modes, and language of the discourse. The study of the structure of narrative can be divided into these three broad categories, as I've said: story and plot, text and narration. Story and plot, as I've told you, have already been divided. Now, the story and plot have been divided into chronological sequence of events and actual sequence of events. We can again re-look at the thing so that the model becomes clear. Story and plot have been divided into two categories: chronological sequence of events and actual sequence of events. Story consists of chronological sequences of the events, whereas plot consists of actual sequences of events, which may not follow a pure the temporal chronology. The text consists of three parameters, as I have just told you: settings, character and characterization, and focalization. Settings provide the fictive locale of the novel, which consists of geographical space and time. A novel generally has many places as locales of actions, and the time represents the fictive era or period, as well as the progress of time in the novel. Characters are identified by the sum total of the semantic cues in the text, and characterization refers to different types of characters created in the novel for carrying forward the action. Focalization or point of view, it permeates all the novels as either external or internal focalization. Narration, the third level of narration, it is related to the level of analysis of the text, which refers to the storytelling in the narrative. At this level, some important aspects of narration, such as narrative levels, typology of narrators, narrative modes, and discourse are identifiable. Narrative levels refers to the way a text is narrated, depending upon the participation of narrators, such as in Geneth's heterodiegetic or homodiegetic and autodiegetic narration. Further, the level also includes narrative modes, which show the adoption of certain narrative modes like telling, showing, commenting, etc. Discourse is also a part of narration, for it may involve indirect discourse and direct discourse, etc. To summarize, this module introduces the concept of narrative in the larger ambit of communication. It provides a brief review of narratology from the perspective of Rimon-Kenan, Ball, and Stenzel, and the review discusses the theory and the models provided by the various narratologists. The present module has come up with the proposed model for the analysis of narratives. The model developed here will be used for the analysis of narrative structure of Kiran Desai's novel The Inheritance of Loss. So it is recommended that please read the novel by Kiran Desai, the inheritance of loss, because we will be studying the novel from the perspective of the model developed here.